Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This class is focused on liver and lymph. This is a restorative movement class for the liver and the lymphatic system. Both of those systems are very tied together for improving our overall health. Very glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. For class today, you'll just need a yoga mat and yourself. So let's go ahead and make our way to your yoga mat, and we'll start in a standing position with a body scan. By the way, I'm Coach Danny. I usually forget to introduce myself. I am a restorative movement practitioner and a licensed massage therapist. And I love teaching classes. I love helping those that have autoimmune diseases improve their health and use movement as a way to learn more about their own bodies and improve their overall health. If that is you, I'm glad you're here. Let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and take a couple of steps in place. And then just let your feet land wherever they land, right underneath the hips. And take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Another breath in and exhale. On that exhale, go ahead and close your eyes. And then in your mind's eye, you're going to bring your attention to your feet. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up, just checking in with our body, just noticing where we may be holding tension today. And as we go through this body scan, as I always say, there's no right or wrong. We're not trying to fix anything. We're just noticing and observing. So we're just being active observers of our body today. So bringing the attention to the feet, notice where your weight is. Is it towards the front of the feet, towards the outside, maybe the heels? Is it the same on both sides, or is there a difference between each side? And again, just noticing. And then bringing your attention to the lower leg, the shins, the calves. Just noticing what you feel. Moving up into the knees. If you were to draw a straight line out from your knees, would they at some point intersect or move away from each other? And moving your attention up into the upper leg. What do you notice in the thighs, the hamstrings? And then moving your way up to your hip joint. So where the femur bone, your thigh bone, connects to your pelvis. What do you notice at your hip joint? How does one side feel compared to the other? And then bringing your attention to your pelvis. What do you feel around your pelvis? And I like to kind of pull myself up and take a bird's eye view down into my pelvic bowl. Do you notice that it's tilted forward, tilted back? Is one side more forward than the other, or kind of pulled up more than the other? And again, no right or wrong, just noticing what is there. It's a good practice in just observing our body without judgment. And then bringing your attention around to the back of your pelvis, so where your pelvis and your sacrum meet, your SI joint. And then we're following that up all the way up the spine. Can you feel the curves of your spine as you move all the way up from your low back to your mid back, upper back, and then into your neck? Do you feel the curves of your spine? Is there any lateral movement or any side bending or any rotation at any point? And again, just noticing. And then bringing your attention from your spine around to the rib cage, kind of wrapping our attention around that rib cage. Go ahead and take a breath in. Notice where that breath lands. Does it land up in the chest? Does it land in the sides of your ribs or maybe the back? And then take another breath in and just notice the quality of your breath. So Does it feel expansive or does it feel restricted? And then moving up into the shoulder area. So paying attention to the collarbone, to our shoulder blades, and the shoulder joint. How do our shoulders feel in comparison to our rib cage? Do they kind of sit forward or back? Then how does one side compare to the other? And then just follow that down along the arms. How do your arms feel in relation to your shoulder joint, to your ribs, to the sides of your body? And then bringing your attention up to your neck and head. How does your head and neck feel in comparison to the rest of your body? Does it feel very vertically stacked, kind of like blocks stacked one on top of the other? Does it feel pushed forward, pushed back, maybe rotated to one side or bent sideways to one side more than the other? And then lastly, checking in with the area above the head, so your head space. How does your head space feel in relation to the rest of your body? And go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale. You can flutter your eyes open. And we're going to start our movement with a spinal roll down, a couple of spinal rolls. So, the reason that it's good to go through a body scan, especially while working liver and lymph, is just because a lot of tension can prevent our lymphatic system from flowing freely through our body. So, it's helpful to just notice where we hold our tension. So taking those feet underneath the hips, go ahead and tuck the chin in, take a breath in, tuck the chin down, and roll the shoulders forward. Start to kind of hunch and fold over yourself, and imagine yourself just folding over your rib cage, folding over your diaphragm, folding over the liver. You almost kind of want that liver to kind of like turn over, folding over your hips, staying close to your body and rolling all the way down. At the bottom, let yourself hang for a moment and try to relax the head and neck. You can even give yourself a little wiggle if you'd like. And when you're ready, start to push the knees forward, start to push the hips forward, and slowly roll up. And as we are going through these spinal rolls, just take note of where you feel your spine sort of gets stuck. And again, take a deep breath in. And exhale, start to tuck the chin, roll the shoulders forward, roll forward, staying as close to your body as possible. Again, folding over that rib cage, the diaphragm, the liver, the intestines, your hip, your pelvis, and rolling down. Just again, noticing where you may feel a little stuck in the process. And start to push the knees forward, start to push the hips forward and unravel that spine all the way up. Good. All right. Next movement is one of my favorite movements just to help improve spinal health, support the spine is a ragdoll. So we are going to take your right arm and you're going to slide it down your right leg. So you're going to feel a big stretch through the left side of the body. And at the bottom, you're going to roll your left shoulder forward. So you're kind of folded, hanging over your right leg. At the bottom, we're going to just shift over to the left leg. So you're just rolling your body over to the left leg. At the left leg, we're going to stack the right shoulder on top of the left. So now we're kind of in the side bend position over to the left. And then we're going to stand up. And now we're going to reverse that. We're going to slide the left leg or left arm down the left leg. Right shoulder rolls forward. So now we're folded over the left leg and rotating over to the right, and left shoulder stacks on top of the right, and stand it back up. Nice. All right, so we're gonna do that one more time each side. We're gonna bend to the right, fold the shoulder, rotate over, stack the shoulders, and stand up. And reverse it. Side bend to the left, roll the shoulder forward, rotate over to the other side, stack the shoulder, and stand it up. Nice. Okay. So, one of the big reasons why it's important to move the spine, move through your midsection to support the lymphatic system and the liver as well, is because our largest lymph node actually lives right, it's nestled right in like the middle of our diaphragm, along our vascular structures that work their way back up to the heart. So, we can mobilize our rib cage, our spine. We're helping to support lymphatic flow through the center of our body. Speaking of lymphatic flow, let's go ahead and do a manual lymphatic massage. So, what we're going to do is called the Big Six. I did not create this. This is Dr. Perry Nicholson's work. I've learned it, and I'm happy to share it with you. We're going to do a manual lymphatic massage at six big points in the body, and then after that, we're going to work some head and neck as well. So we're going to start at the collarbone. So you're going to take a hand and put your hand over your collarbone. So just find that bony part, and I like to make sure that my hand is over, kind of above and below that collarbone, and you're going to rub and just move the skin. And I'm going to do my best to not hit my mic here. So hopefully the rubbing isn't too loud. So rubbing along that collarbone. And then we're going to just gently tap for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll go to the other side and rubbing along the collarbone, making sure that the hand is above and below the collarbone. And the goal here is really just to move the skin around the collarbone. So this is the drainage point back towards the heart. So we open up here first because every other lymphatic node cluster, they all drain back here to the clavicle collarbone area. So tap 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to go across to the neck. So just below the ear, above the collarbone, below the ear, kind of in that front neck area, massaging very gently. And think about like pulling down towards the heart. And then we'll tap 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the other side, rubbing gently, pulling down towards the heart. So improving lymphatic flow helps to clear inflammation. Tap. So very important for anyone working through any autoimmune or autoimmune-like symptoms. Supporting the immune system by clearing out inflammation helps to reduce the overwhelm that the immune system feels. So now we've done the collarbone, the neck. We're going to go to the pec and armpit area. And again, I'm going to be careful here because I feel like I'm going to hit my mic. So you're rubbing across the pec area into the armpit and kind of work down into the lat area as well. If you're working in the lat area, pull up towards the armpit and then again across the chest. And apologize if you hear my hand hit the mic. And then we'll tap. And then we'll go to the other side. Same thing, rubbing along the pec and into the armpit area. So the armpit area is we have a lot of things that crisscross here, a lot of muscles, a lot of neurovascular structures that crisscross this area, the axillary area. So, really important to keep this area free flowing. So, if there's any one place to massage regularly, it's going to be here. All right, now we're going to move into our midsection. So we're going to take a hand above the belly button. So find your belly button, one hand below the belly button, and we are just rubbing. And then I like to pull across the midsection while I'm here, especially along that right side where the liver is. I like to just give myself a little hug, a little lift, help support the liver. When actually our liver is quite a large organ, so it actually also kind of comes over to the left as well. So we're reaching across and pull, reach and pull, and then we'll get into our tapping. So tapping along the entire midsection. And then we're going to find our hip creases. So after our midsection, we're going to go down to the hips. So finding our hip crease, we're going to rub along the hip crease. And then you can rub up into the pelvis as well. And I like to go around the back to my sacrum, the SI joint, and the top part of my glutes, but definitely making sure we're hitting that front area of the hip, and then light tapping. Tapping all the way around the hips. You can go to the back, along the sides, and back to the front. And then the last part, number 6, where we're going to go is behind the knees. And if you are able, you can hinge and get both sides at once, or you can just do one side at a time. And think about pulling up towards the heart, and then tap. And bring it on up. So we did collarbone, neck, pec and axillary area, abdomen, hips, and behind the knees. So let's finish that off with just a little bit of bouncing. You don't have to jump. You can stay, keep your feet on the ground, and just a little bit of bouncing. And then take the feet wide and let your arms swing side to side. So we're going to twist side to side, little windmill action. And I always like to let my arms sort of just hit my rib cage as I'm moving, kind of like that. I don't know if anyone remembers that toy, or you can like where you rub it and it's like a drum and it has the little like strings and the ball at the end of the strings, and you hit the drum as you spin the toy. So I always think about when I do this. All right, bring those feet together. And now we're going to do a little bit of head and neck lymphatic. So we're actually going to start same way we started the big 6, rubbing along the collarbone, and then a little bit of tapping. And then other side. And then tap. And then go to the neck. So again, at the neck. So you know that the collarbone and neck area are important because they're included in both of the lymphatic routines. Make sure we do tapping on both sides. I think I forgot the other side. All right, so once we've got the neck, we're going to go underneath the jaw. So you can use your fingers, just light pressure, pulling down along the jaw. And then use your fingertips. So when we're kind of in the face area, we'll use our fingertips A little tapping. And then into the jaw. Massaging the jaw. And a little light tapping. And then we're just going to very gently sweep across the cheeks, so kind of your sinus area, just very light sweeping. And then maybe go piano fingers, just very light tapping. And then we're going to go to the temple. So just take two fingers, try to draw like figure eights around the temples. Or you can just do circles forward, circles back. And then go tapping along the temporal bone into the forehead, into the scalp. And then the last spot we're going to hit is the back of the neck. So I like to just pull forward and down. Pulling forward and down. And then tapping along the back of the neck, along the shoulders. And then we're going to bring that tapping down to the collarbone again, and then along the sternum. Back the collarbone to the back of the neck. And then work your way up to the back of the head. And rest. Awesome. All right. So, little manual massage for you. Those two routines are safe to do on a daily basis as long as you're not having any kind of detox symptoms. If you do experience any detox symptoms, like you have a headache, maybe feel dizzy, nauseous, take a break from the manual massage, wait a couple days, and then restart. All right. So we are going to continue with some movement. We're going to take another spinal roll down and we're going to make our way to the ground. So go ahead and tuck the chin in. Take a breath. Exhale, tuck the chin, roll the shoulders. And maybe this time your spinal roll feels a little more free. Work your way down, staying close to the body. And then once you've come to the ground, reach to the floor, bend those knees, reach to the ground, and come on all the way down to the floor. So at the floor, we are going to lay onto our back and we are going to take a big X. So legs are wide, arms are wide. So our body is creating this large X. We're going to do Da Vinci rolling. So we're going to take a breath in. And then on the exhale, our right arm is going to reach across the body and it's going to guide us to roll up onto our left side. My right leg is going to trail behind me. It's going to stay open and I'm reaching up and over to the left side of the body. And here I'm going to take another breath in and exhale. On the next inhale, roll it back to the middle. So again, finding yourself in that X. And then on the exhale, other side, left arm is going to reach across the body, guide us over to roll up onto the right side. And reach that left leg, trails behind you. Take a breath. And exhale. On the next breath, roll back to center, breathing in. And then exhale, reaching across with the right, rolling up onto that left side. Taking a breath in. The liver loves Da Vinci rolling, this kind of body rolling, any kind of rotation. Any rotation makes the liver happy. Breathing in and then exhaling, reaching across to the left. So, one of the reasons that I wanted to pair this restorative movement class with liver and lymph is because we'll continue rolling from side to side at your own pace. Um, Wanted to pair these two because um, they are very closely tied in with their kind of emotional root. So, when we think about the lymphatic system in relation to autoimmune disease, we think about the systemic inflammation that comes along with autoimmune disease. And that is often a physical manifestation or representation of self criticism. So there is this judgment, there's this anger towards the self that manifests as systemic inflammation. We kind of think about inflammation being like we say like our joints are angry, right? There's anger there. And liver in traditional Chinese medicine is also the seat of anger in the body. So the two actually work together in terms of the emotions they hold, and then also in helping to cleanse and rid the body of inflammation. So, just something to think about. Let's make our way back to our big X and then bring the limbs in closer to the body. And we can actually take our feet to the floor, bend the knees, and let those arms rest by your side, or you can take them to your rib cage. We're going to end this class with a bit of 360 breathing before we make our way back up to do another body scan at the very end. So, 360 breathing, why don't you take a breath first and again notice where your breath lands and exhale. Now we're going to focus that direction. We're going to think about breathing into our back. So breathing into the floor and then up towards the ceiling. So kind of this up and down direction. So taking a breath in, breathing into the floor, and then expanding towards the ceiling. Full exhale. Let the ribs compress. Again, take a breath in, into the floor and towards the ceiling. And exhale. Take a breath in, into the floor, towards the ceiling. And then compress the ribs on that exhale. Now I want you to focus that direction into the sides of your ribs. So think about expanding your ribs out towards your arms and take a breath in into your sides and then full exhale. Let the ribs compress and take a breath in and exhale. One more time, breathing into your sides and exhale. And now we're going to fill the lungs from the bottom all the way to the top. So think bottom to top. And take a breath in and exhale. Breathe in from the bottom to the top and full exhale. One more time, breathing in from the bottom to the top and full exhale. And now we're going to put all three directions together. So think into the floor, towards the ceiling, into your sides, and then from the bottom to the top. We'll take a couple of breaths here, filling up the lungs in a whole 360. So imagine that air just swirling into the lungs, hitting every side of the lungs. Here we go. Taking a breath in. Exhale through the nose. Breathe in. Big expansion through the ribs. And exhale, compress. And one more. Big inhale. Filling up the lungs, every inch of the lungs, the front, the back, the sides, top and bottom. And full exhale, empty out the lungs. And breathe. When you're ready, slowly make your way onto your side and slowly come on up. And we're going to end class with just a body scan like we first started. Just checking in with the body, seeing if there's any difference in the way that you feel, any way in difference in the way that you're holding tension. So again, march those feet in place and let them land where they land. Take a breath in and close the eyes. Bringing the attention to the feet. Notice where your weight is distributed along your feet. Checking in with the shins, the lower legs, the calves. Checking in with the knees. Notice if there's any difference from one side to the other. Checking in with the upper leg, the thigh, the hamstrings. Noticing where your femur bone, your thigh bone meets your pelvis at the hip joint. What do you notice there? Coming up, taking a bird's eye view of your pelvis, looking down into your pelvic bowl. What do you notice? And then following your pelvis around to the back to your sacrum, and then moving up into the spine, following the curves of your spine. What do you notice? Following the spine around to the rib cage, so wrapping around the rib cage. Take a breath in. Notice where that breath lands. Take another breath in. Notice the quality of that breath. Then bring our attention to our shoulders, the collarbone, the shoulder blades, the shoulder joint. What do you notice? Follow that down along the arms. And then bringing the attention back up to the neck, the head. What do you notice? And lastly, checking in with the head space, the area above the head. How does that feel in relation to the rest of the body? Go ahead and place one hand over the heart and the other hand on top. And give yourself a moment of gratitude for being here, for taking this class. Thank you so much for joining me. All right. Thank you so much again for joining me for this class. And again, I'm Coach Danny, and I hope you enjoy this class on liver and lymph. If you want to see more classes like this, make sure you comment in the comment section below. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you.